All right, welcome to Course 2, Lesson 25. We're going to work with dividing fractions and using fractional parts of 1 in order to, we've done this before using the reciprocal property, and we're going to do this, we're going to use a reciprocal function. We're going to solve problems that involve dividing by fractions by multiplying the dividend by the reciprocal of the divisor. So let's get started. We have no new vocabulary. Anything we talk about in this lesson, you should already know the words for, and it shouldn't be new. So let's take a look at this. It says A says, how many 2/3 are in 1? You've done this before by knowing that you've got to that 2/3. If you want to know how many 1s go into 2/3 equal 1, what would you multiply 2/3 by in order to get 1? And it would be 3/2, which is 6/6, which equals 1. So by doing that, 1 divided by 2/3 really is a function of taking 1 and timesing it by the reciprocal of 2/3, which is 3/2, which then gives you 3/2, which 2 goes into 3 one time and 1/2. So the number of 2/3 in 1 is 1 1/2. If you look at this bottom number, how many 2/3 are in 3? Same thing, 3 divided by 2/3. So we're going to times 3 by, we're going to do it by the divisor. And we're going to take the reciprocal of that. So we're going to take 3 times 3/2, which equals 9/2. 2 goes into 9 4 times to make 8, which leaves 1 over. So 4 1/2 is our answer for B. Let's practice this a few times. That's just using whole numbers to do that. But it's important that you know that you flip the divisor and not the dividend. And to look at this kind of visually, let's just take this down here. This is really a whole, and it's being divided by a fraction. If this was a third and this was a third, here's our 2/3, right? And that 1/3, if we put it into this hole here, it would take up this amount here. So some more can go in here. More will fit in here. So we know that it's got to be greater than 1, but 2 whole ones won't fit in there. So 1 whole one does right here, and 1/2 of 1/2 of this will fit in there again. So we know our answer is 1/2. That's how you do it, drawing pictures. So let's look at this. So that, like I say, the biggest mistake students make is they don't know what's the dividend and which is the divisor. So 3/4 divided by 2/5. So our divisor is the 2/5. So we're going to take 3/4, and we can't divide it by 2/5. So we're going to multiply it by the reciprocal of 2/5, which is 5/2. None of these numbers can be cross multiplied or canceled out. So we're just going to multiply it. 3 times 5 is 15, and 4 times 2 is 8, because when we multiply fractions, we just time straight across. When we add and subtract, we have to have common denominators, but in multiplication, we just add them straight across. So 8/15, 1 goes into 15 one time with 7 left over, and we put that over our 8. So our answer is 1 7/8. Down here at the second one, 2/3 divided by 3/4. We're going to take our divisor of 3/4 and we're going to take its reciprocal. So we're going to take 2/3 times our reciprocal of 3/4, which is 4/3. Nothing here can be canceled. And so 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 3 is 9. And that is our most simplified answer to that answer. 8/9 is our answer. Okay, so let's look at a story problem, because that makes it a little bit more confusing. So Sam walks 9/10 of a mile to school. On his way to school, he passes a bank, which is 3/4 of a mile from his home. What fraction of his walk has Sam completed when he reaches the bank? So Sam all the way to the school isn't a full mile, right? Here's his home. Here's the school. It's not a full mile. It's 9/10 of a mile. So our whole amount is 9/10. So, and our portion, our portion is 3/4. So part goes on top, whole goes on the bottom. So now we can see it. So which is our dividend and which is our divisor? Well, it's 3/4. It's 3/4 being divided by 9/10. Now you see it in this form here. You should know which number you're going to take the reciprocal of. So we're going to take our 3/4 and times it by the reciprocal of 9/10, which can be 10/9. Now we could just multiply that straight across and get 36, but that's not reduced. So let's go ahead and do some canceling. Let's take that 3, and that 3 goes into our 9 over here 3 times. 2 goes into that 2 times, and that 5 times. So now 1 times 5 is 5, and 2 times 3 is 6. There's our reduced answer, is 5, 6. Let's see if we did it right. So here's our part, 3/4. Part way he walked was 3/4, and the total distance was 9/10. So that helps us to set it up. It's important that we know that we set it up the right way. Once we set it up the right way and we reduce it, we get our 5/6. It's very important that you figure out which is the dividend and which is the divisor, which is the part, which is the whole, so you know that you want the reciprocal of 9/10. Because if we take 9/10 and we multiply it by 4/3, we're going to get just the opposite. We're going to get 6/5, which is 1 1/5, and 1 1/5 is not even close to 5/6. So it's important that you slow down, pull the problem apart, and get the right divisor. That's it. That's the whole lesson. So work on numbers 5, 16, and 24. Send them to me tonight. Bring me your questions. We'll work on this lesson in class tomorrow together as for written practice. Thank you for watching the video.